Trying single lens mode here. Single lens on the X4. So we'll see how that works out. I am headed to a baseball game to shoot. I think I've mentioned it before, but I shoot for various wire services and publications, sports photography. So I am headed to the New York Yankees versus Texas Rangers game tonight, and it's been a few days, or actually a couple of weeks since I've shot last, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. And here in Texas, they've covered, or we got a new stadium, so I don't have to worry about the rain or the heat. For once, it used to be really pretty bad. Trying to shoot games in the heat of the summer was ridiculous in the old stadium, even though I like the old stadium better from a aesthetic point of view, but as someone working, and even as a fan, I think it's actually better in the new stadium just because it's comfortable. I was wanting to try out this single lens mode. That's one thing I haven't tried on the X4. I've always shot 360 and then just reframed, but today I'm going to actually try and see how well it works. Kind of have it at a weird angle, so I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. I'm going to have to, I don't know. I just flipped it on just as I was driving out of the driveway, so just to test it. So this will be a short video, but I needed to get something out there. So switching to a different subject, is there anything anybody wants to hear about photography, or how would anybody like to hear about photography or anything that I do here at the how I shoot these events, and any questions about sporting events in general? So I actually have been doing this for about 15 years. Is that right? Oh, more than that. Gosh, about 20 years. So I've been shooting all the local events here, and not all of them, but pretty much every major sporting event and college here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for about close to 20 years now. And so I shoot, the Stars and Cowboys and Rangers and Mavs, along with TCU, SMU, Baylor sometimes. What am I missing? Oh, all the PGA events that come through, LPGA Tour, lots of things actually. I mean, even like the specialty events that come through, especially with AT&T Stadium. So I shoot a lot of soccer. FC Dallas I shoot out in Frisco, and then when we have the World Cup, when that comes through, I'll probably be shooting some of that. And I shoot a lot of international sports, so a lot of the soccer matches, the international soccer matches will come through here. And I've been fortunate to shoot quite a few of those. And of course, last year with the Rangers winning the World Series, that was a good time. Shot several of the playoff games. Shot the parade. But yeah, I don't know how much Cowboys I'm going to be doing this year. One of the outlets that I work for has changed up quite a bit since I started working with them originally. So I kind of parted ways with them recently, and so that was my main outlet for the Dallas Cowboys, which I shot for years, and so I'm not sure whether or not I'll be picking up any of those games this year or not. I'm hoping so, but I had to make a change there. actually shooting. Oh, I already said this. I'm shooting in the 4K mode. There's really no reason to shoot in 8K 360 while I'm driving, unless you want to look around at where I'm driving. Truth is when it's not real bright out, like today, it's overcast and it's been raining for 3 days in a row now, that the video footage is really dark inside the car. So I decided to try to just go for the 4K and see if it's better quality. Plus, I was in a hurry. Let me be honest. I was just in a hurry, and so I was just said, what looks good? And I did that and hit record. So here I am. And once again, I'm all over the place. I don't have a script. I just talk as I'm driving, just to kind of just whatever comes to mind. And I took a nap right before I left. That's why I'm running late. So that's probably part of the reason why I'm so scatterbrained and all over the place, because I just literally woke up 2 minutes before I turned this camera on. I always say, well, maybe I'll edit this into chunks and make it more streamlined, and where I'm not just bouncing from one subject to another. And the problem with that is I always say I'm going to do it, and then I end up just putting these up straight and not worry about all my babbling and pauses and all that awkward stuff. I just kind of don't really care. I'm hoping that nobody else cares. I will say this though, I do plan on making more user content or not, I should say user content, more original content that will be more highly polished. I just have to decide exactly what I want to spend the time and effort on. Sometimes I just like to ramble and capture myself. Maybe one day my kids will see this. Right now they won't watch it, either will my wife, because they cringe whenever they see me on video. But someday it'll at least be archived. They can listen to their dad make a fool out of themselves, myself. But hopefully that's way down the line. And you know what? I am going to, even though I'm really not supposed to, well, I really can't use a lot of the footage that I take at the games. I can take snapshots from the publications. I can take screenshots of the publications that they get put in. And since this is the Yankees Rangers, there'll probably be quite a few of them put up even tonight before I even finish the game, because I'm editing and publishing the pictures as I go along. You know, basically every inning to 2 innings, I upload a few photos here and there. So I will, if I find some online, I will post them, or I'll try to intermingle them into this video, just so you can kind of see what work I produce. I'll also put a link in so you can see, if you want to see my work. I've got a ton. It's pretty easy to Google if you really care. Over 20 years, there's a lot out there. A lot of it's duplicate, same pictures. Let's say you'll hit on a particular image, and it'll get used by every publication, you know, out there, and blogs and news agencies, and you just really never know where it's going to appear. You know, sometimes you have them appear, you know, overseas and in international news, or you know, sports magazines, that sort of thing. So I try to keep a running, well, at least for the last couple of years, I've been trying to have a automatic search within Google that tries to identify anything that I have a byline in, and so I try to capture as many of those as I can. It's kind of interesting to see where they go. But yeah, a lot of the editing, the process is, it's pretty it's not, you know, a lot of people think, oh, it's, you know, how cool is that to be able to shoot sporting events, and it is. It's very cool. But it's a job, and you can get burnt out on it because there's a little bit of pressure. You can't miss the plays, and on top of that, there's a lot of equipment expense involved. And while you're at the games, when you're shooting, you're on a a schedule that you've got to get images up. You're on a time crunch where you literally have to edit. And what I mean by edit is crop and slightly color correct if you need to, or adjust the brightness a little bit. You can't make giant edits. You can't run them through Photoshop and do stuff. You can't do that with editorial images. And so what happens is we also have to caption them. So anything, when you read at the bottom where it says the date and by who it's from, and it says, so and so reaches first base on an error during the third inning of the game between blah 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 blah. All those type of things we have to do those as well on the fly and get those up on a deadline. So you're marking camera images in your camera that you think are good as you're shooting, and then you run over between innings and dump them to your computer and grab the marked images and fix them, crop them, do all that stuff, add your bylines and your captions to them, and then you export them out in FTP or send them up to your service that you're working for, and then they immediately produce, or it depends. Most of the time, who I work for, they're immediately put online for, the wire, which is where everybody can buy the images or pick them up or whatever. And it's kind of one of those lather, rinse, repeat things where you're like it's your cycle. You shoot the first inning, right after the end of the first inning, you run and you try to get the pictures up, and because you never know how long the pictures are going to be in the game, and you might put up 5-10 images each time you upload, and those are sometimes you miss something because you're in the middle of editing and the next inning is already started, and something might happen while you're still trying to finish up your previous couple of innings. And that happens. But yeah, you have to get real good at your workflow. Workflow is everything. And you also have to learn the sports really well, where kind of where you anticipate things. You know that if it's a right-handed batter and they pull the ball typically, then to aim towards the shortstop or towards left field. Did I say right-handed batter? Yeah. Tendencies of players, what the kind of pitches they're going to take, what the count is. So the count could be, is it a count where the person on first base would often steal second? So you have to be paying attention to that. And it's those type of things that make the difference, because if you know the game and you're used to it, you can kind of anticipate those moments, and that works for every sport. It really does, kind of just knowing what to expect, because things are pretty similar, even though you don't realize it, but lots of situational things are the same from game to game. And so that helps a lot with capturing images. And anyway, I might make a video just about that at some point, if anybody cares, because I know I'm rambling and I'm almost here, so I'll cut it short. And I appreciate everybody that does watch these. It means a lot, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.